The LG G2 is a little bit different from the international and from the AT&T version, as you might expect based on historical things that the carrier's done to other devices. But the G2 is here. We're going to take a look in the quick hands-on. The first thing you'll see, and we'll talk about the box, then we'll talk about hardware, and then we'll talk about software. The first thing you see, the box is different here. You can see this is not the same as the international box. Very similar in a lot of ways, but on the outside you've got Verizon and LG logos here that are embossed onto the device. 4G LTE embossed on the box here, and I meant to say box, but I said device, my apologies. You've got a color splotch up here at the top. It's a little bit different in terms of the overall look and feel of the box, as well as the overall size of the box. It's a little bit thinner versus the international and versus the AT&T models. Now, on the back, you're immediately going to notice the Verizon 4G LTE logo right there, and obviously the power buttons, and then of course the camera area here, the ring around the camera is a little bit different as well. The buttons are smaller. Take a look at this versus the AT&T version slash international version, and you can really see this. They're smaller, they're not as long, they're a little bit narrower, and obviously the ring around the camera is different as well. Also, you'll notice, and it's kind of hard to show on camera here, but you notice it the most when you put both of these devices in your hands. The Verizon one does feel different. It's more of a slope, and I'm going to try to get it to the side here so you can see. It's more of a slope, a dramatic slope upward, whereas when you look at the AT&T one here, it's more of a gradual curve on both sides. So kind of more of a gradual arch on the AT&T one, whereas this one slopes up more on both sides on the Verizon version. Down here at the bottom, speaking of, you'll notice this as well. Different here, speaker stuff on the side, the 3.5mm headphone jack and volume rocker in the same place, or excuse me, the 3.5mm headphone jack and the micro USB charging port are in the same place, but a little bit different in terms of the overall look and feel, and of course the logos are different here. On the front, no AT&T logo up top, but what you do get right here is a Verizon logo, and it's a little bit off-center in comparison to previous devices from the carrier. You can see here it's just above the earpiece, making it look a little bit funky in terms of overall layout. But you can see Verizon's here, and this is out of the box how it looks, and with the exception of the messaging icon that I changed over here on the AT&T side, very similar as well, but you can see little differences in the overall icons here. The App Store icon is different. You'll also notice on the Verizon side, you can't remove the Verizon stuff, whereas you can with the AT&T stuff. You've got accessories, you've got all your Google Plus integration, your audio box, or excuse me, not audio box, App Store, Audible here, Amazon Kindle, Amazon MP3, mobile hotspot. You got over here VZ Navigator, VZ Security, voicemail, Verizon Tones, and more. And you can see there's no option again to remove those. You're stuck with them. Now looking at the notification bar area here, as you can see, you've got your Q-Slide applications, or the option, I should say, for Q-Slide right here. And just to show you the differences, you got automatically out of the box in the AT&T version, the brightness indicator, and then of course the sound indicator as well. You do not have those over here. So a little bit more of a clutter-free, if you will, notifications area over on the Verizon side. Where you see those though is when you go back to the back and you turn the volume rocker either up or down. You can see that unlike the AT&T version, it gives you the option to make the settings from the volume area, whereas here you can do it as well, but you've got the options to do it right here in the notification bar. So a couple of different places to do it as opposed to just one. The other big thing, go into the menu and take a look here, the settings rather, and I do that every single time. Probably see me do it in the challenges. It's a little bit tabbed out differently. It's tabbed out differently on the G2, that's the AT&T version, versus the Verizon version. You can see here wireless networks, device versus connectivity. You've got all kinds of different options over on this side. You've got sound, display in general, all tabbed out. Whereas over here, it's all kind of grouped in to one particular area. I've got personal, I've got accounts, I've got system, I've got device, and more. And then of course my home screen, lock screen options right there. And I've got kind of the same abilities here. I've got the font, I've got smart screen, smart video, my notification light, my front touch buttons. It's just placed a little bit differently versus other devices, or versus the other G2 models rather. So we'll go in here really quickly too, because I want to show you this. You got on the AT&T version, just comparing and contrasting here, you got voicemail, call or send, and then your back button. Down here you got call, you got voice dial, you got your voicemail, and then you got your messages. So a little bit different in terms of the approach there as well. So these little things, you see them all throughout, both the Verizon one and the AT&T one. It makes for some software differences. The hardware differences are here as well, but overall it's the same device with the same features, the same Snapdragon 800 CPU, and more. Let me know if you're working with both of these, what you find is a difference. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook as well at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Let me know what you think, which one you like more, which one's designed better. Give me your feedback on Twitter or on Facebook. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.